Advanced Practicum friends, we are moving along. So this week actually is October 20th. You should be finishing up your social emotional domain. So you should have already interviewed either the co-op teacher or the parent and completed the ASQSE, and then you should be thinking about a way to help support that parent or the teacher, depending on what you learned from that ASQSE. And that'll be happening this week. So esta semana debes de ser la última parte de este documento. La semana pasada hiciste una entrevista con la maestra cooperativa o si no con uno de los padres. Y esta semana debes de ofrecer un, una manera de support la familia o el salón en cómo trabajar con este niño. Okay? So moving on now, we're on week 8, October 20th. We're going to be working on the language and communication domain. So to do that, I thought it would be fun for you guys to create an interactive wall or an interactive board. So this isn't a game. This is a specific thing that I want. I do have a video explaining how to do the assignment. So tengo un video explicando cómo hacer esto, but I'm going to go over it with you now anyway. Okay, so what we are going to be doing is we're going to be looking at body parts, and that has to do with communication and language because it's some of the first parts of vocabulary that kids are typically learning. So what I want you to do is this week, you're going to complete this body part checklist, is what you're going to do. So esta semana, mañana vas a completar este checklist. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with this column first. You don't do this one, do this one. And what you're going to do is you are going to say to the child, where is your face? And if the child can point to it, you mark it down. Then you say, where is your eye? If the child can do it, mark it down. And you do this all the way down until a child can't do two in a row. Or if they kind of go back and forth, you kind of notice, do they get it? Do they know it or not? You don't show them where it is. You just ask them, where is your eye? And then they have to mark it down. So tiene que empezar en esta column primero. Pregunta al niño, ¿dónde está tu cara? Si lo puede, no, si él lo puede apuntar, marque aquí. Y ve al próximo, ¿dónde está tu ojo? Márcalo aquí. Si el niño no puede hacer más que dos en un row, yo no sé cómo decir eso. Si no puede hacer dos, entonces puedes parar and no sigue. Okay, so if a child can't do more than two, then you got to stop. So then what I want you to do is do this entire first column. So do this column first, all the way to the bottom. And as you notice, they get harder and harder is what these are. These are body parts that maybe infants and toddlers aren't going to know. They're not going to know where the eyebrow is or an eyelash. Once you stop doing this, move over to this one and then ask, what is this? And point to your face, and they have to tell you what it is, and then start marking it. So here's the thing I want you to think about. This is easier. This is an understanding. All children need to do is be able to identify and point to it. This column is much more difficult because in this column they need to retrieve the actual vocabulary word to tell you what it is. Most of our infants and toddlers are going to be in this area, in this column only. Some of them are never even going to reach here because they don't have language yet. They don't have vocabulary. So you're going to get a lot more answers in this first column and more markings than you will in this column. And again, depending on the age group. So este área, este column es mucho más fácil porque los niños solo necesitan identificar qué es algo. Este área es mucho más difícil porque el niño tiene que decirte la palabra, tiene que encontrar el vocabulario para decirte qué es algo. So tú vas a tener mucho más marcas en este área de que este área. So you're going to do this checklist. I would do it on maybe, I think it says in the assignment to do it on at least 3 to 4 children. So debes de hacer esto en 3 o 4 niños. So one child at a time. And maybe you want to write down Alexis markings are in orange. Luis's markings are in green. Trevion's markings are going to be in red. So you're going to color code it. Or you could do a separate checklist for every single one of the children. You determine how you want to do it. And again, there is a video explaining how to do all this. So what you do is that once you're done with the checklist, cuando tú termines con esta lista, then you're going to fill out this document. And what you're doing is you're just counting up how many kids were able to identify the face, how many were able to identify eye, and how many were able to say face, how many were able to say eye. So if you can do it on all the kids, that would be really cool. But if you can only do it like on 3 or 4 children, that would be fine also. So what I want you to do is you're doing these 2 parts this week. Vas a hacer estas 2 áreas esta semana. Then you're going to tally up the checklist and you're going to notice and answer some of my questions. So cuando tú terminas con haciendo estos 2 documentos, yo quiero que tú contestas entonces estas preguntas. From here, this is considered your observation. You're getting to know your kids. From here, you're going to create an experience. So de aquí, tú estás observando, aprendiendo de que los niños sí sepan o que no saben. Entonces vas a ofrecer una experiencia. So I have different ideas of things that you can do depending on the age group, and I want you to offer these. Now, all of these things are things that should be put up on a wall. It is something that should be interactive with the children. So I don't want this to just be a worksheet. That's not what this is. This is something where kids are interacting with it. It's something, again, to enhance your environment. That's what I'm looking for. So esto es algo que los niños pueden interactuar con. No es un worksheet, algo que los niños tienen que hacer. Es algo que puede ser en el pared o en el piso, pero es un parte del ambiente. Eso es que yo quiero. So from what you learned, I've got a couple of different ideas here. Okay, so take these ideas and write down for me. What did you decide to do as your experience? Oh my goodness, take pictures. If you don't take pictures, you're going to lose points. I want to see the pictures. Do the kids need to be in it? They don't. You can be in the picture showing me what the experience is that you offered, right? So en este área, después que tú haces o ofreces la experiencia, yo quiero que tú también toma fotos de esto. Los niños no se necesitan hacer en esta experiencia. Tú puedes ser en la experiencia, pero yo quiero ver qué tú estás ofreciendo a los niños. What did you decide to do? Then, of course, all good teaching reflects on how everything went. So this is going to be after next week, after you've offered the experience, you're going to fill out these areas right here. Este área se va a llenar después de la semana que viene, porque lo vas a llenar después que tú ofreces la experiencia. Tiene que reflexionar cómo fue todo como maestra o maestro. Okay? So this is what the assignment is going to be for this week. You're going to do, again, an interactive wall or board, and the kids are going to be working on their body parts. I also don't forget these co-op evaluations. Some of you are not earning full points because the co-op teacher is not filling out it isn't making any comments. I do want comments. They can't just initial yes, 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 and then put the signature at the bottom. I want some comments. We don't have to put comments in everything, but just a few so that you get feedback and I get feedback. Es necesario que la maestra cooperativa hace comentarios. No tiene que ser comentarios en cada área, pero por lo menos 2 o 3 áreas, porque yo quiero que tú recibes una evaluación de esa maestra, que tú aprendes de esta persona. Eso es que es necesario. So make sure that you are filling in these co-op evaluations. And then finally, it is not opened yet, but it will be for tomorrow, discussion number 8. So don't forget to do the discussion boards also. When you're doing discussion boards, you need to respond to my question and you need to respond to at least 2 classmates as well. No olvide hacer discusión. Necesita hacer comentarios en que yo te pregunta y también tiene que comentar en por lo menos 2 de tus amigas y amigos en el salón. Tienes que comentar por lo menos en 2. Okay? All right, just letting you guys know also, I am going to be closing down several weeks. I'm probably going to close down weeks 1 through 4 in the next couple of days. Because look, these were due in September and we're already towards the end of October. So these should be done. So giving you a heads up, if you did not submit the co-op evaluations, get them in because I'm going to close it up. And once it's closed, it will not be opened. Voy a cerrar estas semanas en un cuantos días. Es necesario que tú entregas toda la tarea, complétalo todo, de la maestra cooperativa también, porque cuando yo cierro estas, no lo voy a abrir otra vez y no lo voy a aceptar. Ya todo esto era en septiembre, ya es octubre, es tiempo que lo entrega. Okay? All right. This should be it. This should be good. If you have any questions, please be sure to contact me. I'm still on my first round of doing all my observations, but we're getting close to that point where I'm going to be heading around and doing the second week of the second round of observations. So keep an eye out for my emails. Please communicate with me if you need anything. Otherwise, have a wonderful week. Take care, everybody.